Welcome to Beyond the Veil with Norman Meredith.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Norman Meredith, coming from Easley, South Carolina tonight with another episode of Beyond the Veil. And lurking in the background is my partner and producer, Ed Lees, who will occasionally chime in on what he thinks what's going on. Tonight, we're going to talk about a little bit about the mysteriousness of Antarctica. You know, it's amazing. We know a lot about the Arctic, the North Pole. We go up there, we have no problems. But the Antarctic, as long as people have been going down there, has been a very big mystery because we don't know a lot. People don't seem to go there a lot. I mean, yes, there's outposts there by the United States, Russia, Chile. I'm not sure if the Chinese have got some. The Japanese have. There's a lot of different countries that have outposts down there, but you don't hear a lot of information coming out of Antarctica. And, we're going to talk a little bit about some of these mysteries from secret German bases, UFOs, pyramids, hidden civilizations. I mean, there is so much that can possibly talk about. We're just going to touch base on a little bit of this. And one of the things I'm going to start off with is we're all familiar with Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. You know those two fellows, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are they famous for? Just in case for some of these folks that don't know.
Making up stories about going to the moon?
Yes, that's right. They're astronauts.
Or are they going to the moon?
They're astronauts.
We may never know.
But, I found it odd that they went to Antarctica. Both of them were at the same time traveled to Antarctica for something. I don't know. Why would two astronauts be invited to go explore one of the most desolate places in the world next to going to the moon? You got any ideas on that?
Not really, unless it was some kind of trainer for the vastness in the
Yes, but this was years later. They went in
who knows?
They went in 2000, in the 2000s, somewhere in 2000, I think around 2016, 2015, 2014. They were up there then. They got invited to go down to Antarctica, of all places. And both of them had medical emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
And Neil Armstrong was reportedly said, and it's been redacted, that he felt the presence of evil down there. And when we're talking about evil, if you've ever been out at night, in the darkest of night, and you just feel chilled to the bone and just totally scared off your kilter, like something's just ready to snatch your soul out of your body, that scared, this is how supposedly Neil Armstrong felt. Now, Buzz Aldrin had also went, and he was supposedly diagnosed with high altitude sickness, which is weird because the only thing I can think of is maybe they're talking about the bends that they went below ground and there was a decrease in pressure, and then coming back up is when this occurred, which mean that there could have been an underground civilization they got to explore, or the remnants of an underground civilization they got to explore. That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it?
I'd be interested if there was a collection of the vessels that they put people in for when they get the bends to get the nitrogen out of their blood. If there is that kind of machine down there to do that, that tells you that they're going into the depths. So what is down there near Davy Jones' locker?
I would say they do have the machine down there because they do explore the ocean depths down there with divers and submersibles. All right, what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring up a segment of a YouTube video. This YouTube video is about 20 minutes long, and we're going to watch about 3 to 4 minutes of it. And part of it, you're going to hear Buzz Aldrin talk about it, and the moderator is going to tell us a little bit of what happened and some other things related to Antarctica. So, Ed, roll that cool bean footage.
In 2016, something strange happened when Buzz Aldrin shared a cryptic tweet that had everyone talking. The tweet said, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself," and was paired with a photo of what looked like a pyramid in Antarctica. Not long after posting it, Aldrin quickly deleted the message, but not before people across the internet had taken screenshots, sparking tons of curiosity and speculation about what he might have meant. Since then, there's been a lot of debate about whether the tweet was even real. Some say they saw it before it was deleted, while others insist it never happened. The mystery surrounding the tweet has people divided. Some are skeptical, especially since the screenshot lacks a clear timestamp, while others believe there's more to the story. The photo itself has also stirred up quite a bit of debate. Some people think that the pyramid-like structure is just a natural formation, while others believe it could point to something bigger. The idea of pyramids in Antarctica isn't new either. Explorers and scientists have reported seeing strange shapes emerging from the ice for over a century. Some even believe these could be remnants of ancient civilizations buried beneath the ice, with American researcher Richard E. Byrd famously sharing his own sightings of
they
structures
said
during his
pyramid
expeditions
shape.
in the 1930s
Now you
and
notice
1940s.
all over the world we have pyramid shapes. It was believed Antarctica was a warm land body before the world shifted. So the possibility of a civilization being there and having pyramids is very strong.
And fans of the unknown have pointed to satellite images and remote sensing data as proof that these pyramids might be hidden under the ice.
Sorry about the ad there, folks. It didn't originally come up in the other, and I don't know why it's happening now, but if you like Kingdom, you can play it. Back to their show.
To spark debates within the scientific community and among the general public. Despite all the buzz, skeptics and mainstream scientists have been quick to point out flaws in the theory. They argue that there isn't any solid evidence, and the tough conditions in Antarctica make it hard to investigate further. Many believe that these so-called pyramid sightings are just natural formations, particularly nunataks, which are rocky peaks that poke through the ice. Because of this lack of clear proof, experts are hesitant to embrace the idea of man-made pyramids down there. Even with these challenges, some dedicated researchers and explorers are determined to get to the bottom of the mystery. They've launched several expeditions to check out the strange formations spotted in satellite images. Using advanced tools like ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR, and drones, they've been mapping out the area in hopes of uncovering the truth. The search for answers about these rumored pyramids is still ongoing, with many eager to see if anything will be revealed beneath the ice. Antarctica, the frozen, isolated continent at the bottom of the world, has fascinated scientists and explorers for centuries. Its harsh environment hasn't stopped people from trying to unlock its secrets. One such group of scientists, led by Dr. Mitchell, a geologist, was stationed there to conduct research. During a routine survey, Dr. Mitchell came across something unusual, a black structure standing out against the white landscape. At first, he thought it might be a rock that had fallen from a nearby mountain, but as he got closer, he realized it was something much stranger. The structure was tall, smooth, and seemed to absorb sunlight. Unfortunately, Dr. Mitchell didn't have his camera on him, so he had to return to the research station to grab it. When he came back, he took a photo from a nearby peak, capturing both the mysterious structure and his team examining it. Dr. Mitchell, now retired, held onto the photo for years before sharing it online, and reactions were mixed. Some thought it was evidence of advanced technology, while others believed it was just an unusual...
You know, it's strange. He mentions black structure or black pyramid. In Alaska, there is a reported black pyramid inside a mountain that is being monitored by the U.S. Army and a lot of three-letter agencies. They know what's going on there, and it's strange that that one is in a cold climate as well as this alleged one down there. And it's amazing they show what looks like a giant disc door, I guess you'd call it, or a portal-like door, like you want to let things in and out, or maybe open it up to allow fresh air in, recirculate, maybe allow sunlight in. Ed, bring up that very bottom picture with the red arrow for just a second. Yes, this one. Now, this is that picture, or at least a artist rendition or AI, because I'm not going to say yes it is, and I'm not going to say no it's not, of what that Dr. Mitchell's seen. Now, if you look at it, one aspect of it, don't it kind of look like a UFO in a way? In one aspect, it looks like a UFO, but it also could be an iris for a door, a portal-like door that would open up, to allow things to come in and out. Now, the size of the people next to it, it's not very big, so maybe it's like a giant vent to allow fresh air or materials to be transported in and out of it. We don't know until we can get more solid proof and people stop hiding the truth. Because, one of the biggest things that we run into is a lot of people hide the truth because they're afraid we can't take the truth, which is a shame, because I think we're grown up enough that we can handle a lot of things nowadays. Movies, books, and media has acclimatized us to be able to take a lot. Now, we're going to talk about a famous explorer. He was a U.S. Navy explorer, Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd went down there in the early 1930s and post-World War II back to Antarctica. Ed, bring up that first picture with he went down there to explore Antarctica. And in doing so, it was a giant sheet of ice. But in his travels, he said he's seen greenery, like forests, plains, and get this, folks, structures with people. And he was met by unidentified flying objects. And that he actually got out and landed his aircraft and met these people. Now, in that picture, you notice the representation of the ice and Greenland. It's very possible underneath these 2,000 meters of ice, there is like we got here in our own outside, greens, trees, farmland, small mountains. And it's supported by an energy source that would provide lighting. Heating could be from volcanic vents, thermal venting, or advanced science using different propulsions, different energies to keep them warm, keep them safe, provide what we see in our own life out here. Ed, bring up the next map, please. Now, this is the map that Admiral Byrd was working with when he went down to explore Antarctica. And then the next one, we have a picture of one of his aircraft that he was doing the flying. Because a lot of times, Admiral Byrd flew by himself. He didn't usually take somebody with him. And the reason why is he didn't want anybody else getting hurt if something happened to him. He was that type of guy. But, during the course of his time down there, they did lose some people. They did lose some aircraft, allegedly. And this was both, before World War II and after World War II. And after World War II, I want you to look up a project called Operation High Jump. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But, the thing is, he discovered something down there, especially in Operation High Jump. With Operation High Jump, he was sent back down to Antarctica to try to find, get this, Ed, German bases. Because it was believed the Germans went down there and had a Nazi base.
That makes sense. You hide things down there, test things down there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to go ahead and skip down to the one that looks like a U-boat there, Ed. The picture of a U-boat. It'll be the third one, right next to the pyramid.
Right next to the pyramid. Oh, this one right here. Here we go.
Okay, that one's a pyramid. Now, get this, folks. When Operation High Jump, it was reported UFOs had come out and they kind of sorted, supposedly intercepted, encountered, supposedly even fought U.S. forces. And the thing is that the Germans had a actual base built into the ice. And before World War II, the Germans went down there with explorers. Bring up the next one before that, Ed. They went down there with sled teams, with ships, and they were exploring. They left out even these giant markers of the German symbol of the Reichsmark with the eagle, with the swastika. And a lot of these, they actually even dropped out of planes. You can still find them today down there in Antarctica during the summer months. And it is rumored, like I said, they built a giant base down there with thermal heating, tapping into the volcanic vents supposedly down there. They had the ability to desalinize the water and the whole 9 yards. Go ahead and flip up to the one before that. Next one. This is one of the flying boats that the Germans had used down there for their exploration. And then there's one more before that where, the German U-boats were even, during World War II, they were prevalent down there. Like, they were shuttling supplies. And remember, when the war ended, 2 German U-boats showed up later, after the war, like they were on a deep mission. Either they went to Argentina to drop off Hitler.
I was going to say they missed Argentina and went.
Or they went down to Antarctica to drop off some supplies. Now, if you go all the way down, there's 3 guys standing there, and this is German explorers once again, who left their signs behind, flags, and little standards saying, hey, this is our territory. We claim this in the fatherland. And this is a big thing. You might even find movies out today about the Germans being down there with bases and such. And that is a popular myth going on today. All right, Ed, let's go on down to the picture next to that. Now here, there's 2 different stories going on about this.
Looks like a ship got in there, broke ice, and then froze in the water.
Well, there's one group of people say that a crashed UFO skidded across the ice, and that's what it is. And the scientific reasoning is it's part of an ice block that slid off a mountain. This is one of many pictures I found. There's even one I found what looks like a disc that had crashed into the snow, and what looks like 5 to 6 tanks out in the snow surrounding it that supposedly is in Antarctica. And this is some of the stuff that has been supposedly been seen down there. Crashed UFOs, some half buried, some right out on the surface. Go on to the next one there, Ed. UFOs similar like this, some of them actually just sitting on the surface. Like they just been abandoned. They got out, went to do something, and maybe the weather didn't agree with them. It just caught them off guard. Antarctica is a giant mystery in itself. It's an enigma. And unfortunately, the secret world government knows what's going on. Russia knows what's going on. The U.S. knows what's going on. Anybody that's been down there knows what's going on. There was even a story about some researchers that went down this hole, and they knew where they were going. And they came out, and they were a week late in coming back. So they're getting ready to send down this rescue team. And when these researchers come back, they weren't themselves no more. They're almost like zombies. Now, supposedly, they were down on a exchange with another civilization. These scientists did. And then coming back, their minds were just messed up from the interactions they had with this other civilization. There's a lot of talk about spots down in Antarctica that are no-fly zones. Even now, you're not allowed to fly because...
And that's crazy because there's no airport there. Correct. And it's massive.
Correct.
And in fact, there's no buildings or humans there. So why can't you fly?
Supposedly. Because you might see something you're not supposed to see. Like a giant hole in the earth or something.
Well, thank heavens for Google.
Yeah, but they Photoshop that.
They do. Some of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it tonight with this, is just what mysteries are in Antarctica. And if you got any ideas of what these mysteries may be, reach out and let us know. Give us your thoughts on what lies in Antarctica. And next week, we're going to talk about Bigfoot. I found an interesting clip from Joe Rogan with his guest Elon Musk talking about Sasquatch. And we're going to talk about that next week. Ed's been laughing about it when I told him about it. And we're going to present it to y'all. And let you see what you think about it. Okay? So signing off from Easley, South Carolina, this is Norman and my producer, Ed. And we wish you a good night, good day, and be safe.